Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Phightins Final here on the edge of Philly sports with your boy Matty B. I guess you can kind of say that it's only 2 games in, 16-3. The Phightins fell today to the Texas Rangers to start the season out 0-2, and it's not a good recipe, which I have been seeing over the last 2 nights. Home runs galore given up by the Philly pitching staff. 3 more today to raise their total now for the season to 5. And the Rangers have scored 27 runs in 2 games? Come on, man. Listen, going into the season, I had my doubts about the rotation going in. But I thought it was more towards the back end of that rotation. But Nola and Wheeler, shaky today. Wheeler at best. Nola, of course, ran into that wall in the 4th inning on Thursday. I mean, Wheeler avoided the big inning. Did he though? I mean, they pulled him before the big inning really kind of got to him, but it's just not a good day. Just not a good series so far for the Phillies as they get going in the season 0-2, man. 0-2. And I understand 162 games. I got that. And by no means am I calling for Rob Thompson's head at this point. I'm not. We're 2 games into a 162 game season. But it's not even been competitive, man. I mean, it's been a offensive showcase for the Texas friggin' Rangers against this Philadelphia Philly vaunted pitching staff. And that to me is just I can't handle that. I cannot handle that. It's just been really, really upsetting. Pat Bernard chimes in with, I miss Rhys Hoskins already, Matty B. I don't know why you miss him, Pat. He don't start hitting until June anyway, so he would just be with the rest of them right now in their offensive struggles. But I get you. You when things going bad and you start looking around the lineup and there's no other options, and obviously I thought Derek Hall played well. I thought he's going to be a viable stopgap at first. I'm not the biggest Rhys Hoskins guy, as you guys already know that. So I'm not gonna say I miss him, but I understand your frustration, Pat. I do. And of course, it's felt by every Phillies fan out there. 16-3 today. Phillies fall. I'm gonna go over a couple stats before we head into the game. Like I got to get it off my chest, man. I got to get it off. I got to get it off my chest. Marlene, I can't pronounce the last name, says 16-3. What were the Phillies doing cleaning their fingernails? I don't know, Marlene. Is that your real name, Marlene? I mean, what are you, like 90? I mean, that name stopped being given out in the 50s. I guess maybe they were, but I'm just kidding, by the way. That's my mother, so I can say what I want to her. Yeah, Mom, I don't know. I don't know what the Phillies have been doing over the last 2 games, and especially today. 16-3, 16 to friggin' 3, man. Man, I'm not calling for this, to strike the boats and burn everything down, but it's very disheartening to go into 2 games and give up 27 runs and score 10. And that's the thing of it. The Phillies have scored 10 runs in 2 games. If you're looking at that from the offensive Phillies standpoint, maybe 1-1 or possibly 2-0. But when you look at the other side of that coin, 27 runs given up by the Philly pitching staff. Whether or not they're earned or unearned, and Alec Bohm struck again. The Phillies committed 2 errors today. Bohm. It's like we're all reverting back to 2022, and it's interesting. But let me get into a couple of stats because I want to paint the picture for you guys just 2 games into this season because it's a picture that's worthy to be painted. Through 2 games, the Phillies have struck out 20 times, but their pitchers have also struck out 20 times. Today, they actually did well. They only struck out 7 times today, the Phillies, and that was against 13 times on Thursday. So I'll take 7 over 13 any day. But and they also struck out 12 Rangers. Amazing. The stat that grabs me by the what is the walks. Today, the Phillies pitchers gave up 6 more walks. Now they've given up 12 on the season. That's 6 a game. You're not going to win many baseball games giving up 6 walks a game. And now it's second straight 6-walk performance by the pitching staff. Just not good. No way you can hash it out to me. It's just not good. The Phillies worked themselves 3 walks today, but it's not good. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Phillies are they went 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position with 2 outs today. For the season, they're now 6 for 21 at 285. I guess I can accept that, but it's that walk, that walk stat. And here's the stat: the Phillies pitching have now given up 5 home runs on this young season, and the Phillies have only hit one. So the Phillies are giving up 2.5 home runs to their half of a home run a game, and it's just yeah, it's you want to bang your head against the wall, right? You sit there and you're watching these games kind of unravel, and you just want to bang your head against the wall. But you know what? We're 2 games in, and I guess that's what you got to keep in mind. But right now, if you're looking at the standings, the Phillies are now 2 games out of first place, as everybody else seems to be winning in the National League East, but the Phillies. And now they're now 0-11 against the Texas Rangers in their last 11 games. 0-11 against the friggin' Texas Rangers, who have not been relevant since what, 2016, maybe even earlier than that. I know they had that little run of back-to-backs. What's this, Super Bowls? You got Howie Roseman on my mind, but back-to-back World Series there in the early part of the last decade. But this is a team that's been irrelevant for many years, and the Phillies are 0-11 against that. And tomorrow they will attempt to pull themselves out of that on a Sunday night ESPN. They get the first ESPN Sunday night game of the year, so maybe they can pull themselves out of it. Let's get into this game. Let's go over some of the stats. Let's go over some of the scoring. We only had to wait 2 pitches into this game before somebody got on the board, and it was Simeon for the Rangers. He would homer off of Zach Wheeler to make it 1-0. Then Grossman would single in low to make it 2-0, and that was what you were heading into the bottom of the first. The Phillies did not, or I'm sorry, in the heading into the top of the second. The Phillies did not score anything in their top half of the first. In the bottom of the third, Grossman would get things going again for the Rangers. He would sac fly in low to make it 3-0, and then Garcia would reach on the first error. This time, Trey Turner with the error, which would drive in a run to make it 4-0 Rangers. The Phillies would get themselves back into this thing in the bottom of the fourth, top of the fourth. Castellanos would double in, would double to the Hall, a play that banged off the pitcher and kind of rolled out into the outfield. Derek Hall would score. He had doubled earlier, because Ramuto had singled and then Hall doubled, or he walked. Somebody got on. Ramuto got on first somehow, but Hall would score, and JT would score to make it 4-2. In the top of the fifth inning, the Phillies would creep even closer on the Kyle Schwarber ground out RBI, scoring Trey Turner to make it 4-3. Turner had tripled. Phillies were back in this thing till the bottom of the fourth when Garver would homer a 3-run shot to make it 7-3 and essentially suck all the air out of the Phillies balloon in this game. But it wasn't over because Garver would then be back in the seventh. This time, another 3-run shot, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs for the man today. 10-3 Rangers. Seager would sac fly in Bamboo Brad in the seventh to make it 11-3. Then Lowe would ground out to Forson Smith to make it 12-3. Simeon 13-3. Yada 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 16-3 Rangers. On the pitching standpoint, Phillies. JT went 4 1/3, gave up 7, or not JT, Zach Wheeler 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them were earned, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. That's not a bad number, but with the number that really sucks is that home run. Of course, the Simeon home run there at the start of the game. Junior Marte was completely ineffective, in my opinion, today. Half an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned. He walked 1, and he struck out 2, gave up a home run of his own. Alvarado, Dominguez, Bellotti, Kimbrough, and and Harrison would make an appearance. Listen, if you're going to position players in game 2 of the season because your pitchers are just you want to save your bullpen, there might be something you need to kind of readjust in your game plan because James Harrison got a pitching for you went a half inning and he gave up 2 hits, but he walked 1. And that's how you got it. Wheeler will get the loss. He's 0-1 on the Rangers side. Evaldi with 5 innings. 5 solid innings. Yeah, he got into a little bit of trouble, but he pulled himself out of it. 5 solid innings, 6 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Dunning and Hearn would come in and pitch as well. Evaldi gets the win. He is now 1-0 on the season. And there you have 16-3, the Texas Rangers over the Philadelphia Phillies. And 2 games in, 2 losses. I don't want to sit here and give you the obligatory what are you feeling? Is it time to burn this thing down? I'm not going to do that, but there's got to be some sense of urgency with this team right now. There's got to be some sense of pride. 27 runs given up in the last 2 games. There's got to be something here that resonates in this clubhouse for tomorrow that they can kind of salvage a game in this series, get things going on the right track, because it ain't getting any easier after we leave Texas. We're headed up to the Bronx for 3 games before coming home against the Reds. So it's not going to get easier, and we cannot, I repeat, we cannot come home 0-6. We got to figure this thing out. It's got to start now. We just got to get on that. We got to have a good pitching performance. We got to have a game where, 1, we don't use 6 pitchers. 2, our starter goes more than 5 innings. And 3, we can keep the runs down to less than 10. I mean, come on. Am I asking too much here? Am I asking too much for the defending National League champions and their pitching staff not to give up 10 runs a game? I don't think so, man. But tomorrow the Phillies will be back at it. As I mentioned, they get the primetime start on ESPN, 7 o'clock start time. I believe it's Walker going for the Phillies. Let me take a look here. Oh, I should have all this stuff fired up. I don't. Let me take a look. Tomorrow night is 7 o'clock start. It is Bailey Falter going to go for the Phillies, and he'll be opposed by Martin Perez. 7:05 ESPN. Be there, be square. Check out the season. Hopefully the Phillies can kind of finish up this series with a salvage a win here. Salvage a win. But you know who doesn't have to salvage a win? That's Philly Sports Trips, because you every time you go to Philly Sports Trips, you travel like this. To offer it on Philly Sports Trips. They got the trip up to the Bronx on April 3rd. That is, I just mentioned that. It's going to be next week. And then the draft down there in Kansas City. The trip to Denver for the twofer, and then out to London and Leeds again for some Union soccer and some Phillies baseball. Or out to London and Leeds for some Union soccer on the weekend, Memorial Day. Rob Sherry, don't forget, for any workman's comp, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law, 610-565-0300. That's Dave Cherry, by the way. I always call him Rob. And also, if you're looking for those great tickets with no hidden fees and great prices, look no further than Sherry's Tickets Town, www.sherrystickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Save an additional 10% when you enter the promo code EOP10. And tomorrow, if you're looking for a place to kind of wrap up your weekend and catch that Phillies game, look no further than Dolan's down there in the heart of Delco in Ridley Park. Quizzo, music, great times, memorabilia giveaway. And you never know who's going to walk through that door in Dolan. So go ahead and check them out down there in Ridley Park in the heart of Delco. And here's the lineup for the rest of your weekend here on the Edge of Philly Sports. You had Patterson Fanatics. I'm fighting Phinaling it up. Tomorrow you got AM or PM in the AM, the All Across All the Time show. And then check out, I believe Al's going to be doing the Phightins final tomorrow. So check him out after Phillies Rangers. Folks, I am going to wrap things up, head on out for the night. But before I do, I'm going to run you a segment that I usually do on Sundays, but because I'm not going to be on Sunday, I figured I'd do it tonight. This would be your weekend review in Phillies home runs. I did it last year, kind of in the second half all the way to the end. I'm going to try to start it this season. We're going to go back to the WBC, folks, because I'm going to relive all those great home runs of Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber. But let's relive the week that was in Philadelphia Philly home runs. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
He may have gotten that one. Young is back. And it's gone. All the way over Pool C.
The 0-2 to Turner, and he throws this one deep left field. Trey Turner, grand slam home run on an 0-2 pitch. The United States takes a 9-7 lead.
one to left. Trey Turner muscling up in Miami. It is gone. USA! Trey Turner, last night on a changeup.
And then tomorrow night, though.
Turner drives it to left center field. Back it goes. It's gone again. On a team full of stars, none shining brighter than Trey Turner.
I'm sure turned him in to on fire.
Lifts this ball down the left field line. Has Trey Turner done it again in the championship? You bet he has. Into double digits in this at-bat. The 10th pitch. Line to right field. Kondo turns. There it goes. Straighten it out. Second deck. 1-run game.
That one's out toward right center field. Garcia's on the run. Out toward the wall. It is gone. Home run for Alec Bohm the opposite way. What a way to start the season for the Phillies third baseman as the Phils take a 2-0 lead here in the second.